spot somebody 5 runs. It's a good team. That's a winning team. And when you do that, you're very fortunate to walk out with a win. And I thought, overall the quality of the at-bat and obviously the home run, Lodice's hit, and I think that was the bottom of the 7th, was key. It was good to see Ben flash some velocity and a good breaking ball again. I thought Marlowe showed good stuff, and the double play was clearly a pivotal moment there late in the game. And then to create the traffic he did, you just didn't see that coming. I was hoping he could have finished that game, but Lauk, good, and you see the climbing fastball was in play tonight, and proud of his outing. But just the execution overall, we've seen those guys execute pitches far better. We wanted Huddy to have a start. Like, you can warm up as long as you want to. You can do what you need to do. It's different than relief, clearly. But he was not on it. And, the play at first base, if he handles that, I thought Miles did a nice job and got it to him, and he didn't contain it, and he just couldn't escape that. And we were fortunate. Again, that's a winning team. And we saw a variety of arms. I was pleased with the poise of the team overall. Everybody, I never felt like anybody really was panicked, and they kind of went about their business. So we were fortunate to come out with a win, and it was not easy. That thing never felt like it was our game. Didn't feel like we had control of things. Even though there were a couple times we were ahead, it didn't feel like that thing was secure until the last out. And that's a good hitter at the plate, and we were trying to pitch carefully because they had a new guy that was in the game that was on deck. We escaped, and it was good to see Ben with the 96, and the breaking ball has been pretty good. It's just he's got to continue to work to press that stuff down, to be a little bit more consistent and not get damaged.
I think it was a couple weeks back that you talked about Max kind of making an adjustment in the second game of a doubleheader to lift the ball more, and it feels like the homers have come in bunches since then. Just how impressive you've been with the way he's been able to power the ball now recently.
Really good, and I don't do enough research maybe on the exit velocities, but when you look at his average exit velocity, it's got to be up there pretty good. And it's a very flat swing, and he tries to create a way to get inside the ball a little more and almost create a little bit of lift. And every hitter has his own way of trying to work through. Some guys are very lifty and have to try to fight to get on top, and he almost has to try to create a little bit more of a path that matches the path of the pitch instead of being so flat at times. But he hangs in there. I mean, the guy fights for everything. Like, he's fighting for every pitch at the plate, and I think his pitch selection has gotten a little bit better. There's times I think he still maybe gets himself out at times, maybe swinging at some awkward things. But yeah, you've seen the statistical productivity has really taken off, and I think in part it's because he's made that minor adjustment to try to plane out a little bit more on the path of the pitch.
You mentioned it a little bit already, but 11 walks from the staff. How do you kind of get the sharpness back from the bullpen going into a big series?
It's a good question. It's a good question. It's the biggest concern. The most important part of what we do is on the mound. And there are ebbs and flows to things, but the drastic way that we kind of pivoted starting on the weekend into the lack of execution, Mike and I were talking about it a little bit during the game as we're trying to figure it out, because there was a clip we were walking people at a rate that you just don't see the guys do. Are some of the guys tired? Maybe some. I don't think the group that threw today is tired. Is the newness of this to some of them? I don't think so. It's a hard thing to process. Being on the road and the travel, and we had a kind of a tough week. Now the outcome of the week last week was okay, but it's still a lot to manage physically. So we'll see how we want to manage the next couple of days. But mechanically, nothing looks too out of sorts. The velocities don't look that obscure. We're not calling the game any differently. I mean, Rowan, we used him in a different role. It's not like we're throwing guys into situations that are totally different. So that's a tricky one for me to answer right now. And we'll figure it out. And those guys are going to be fine. You're just fortunate to actually win the games when it hasn't been played as cleanly or pitched as well as you can do. So we're pretty fortunate when you look at the holistic part of that.
James, seems like he took advantage of the opportunity on Sunday, got another opportunity, took advantage of it again today. I guess what's it like seeing the young guy take advantage of those first chances he gets like that? I guess, does it make it tough, the DH conversation? I mean, they might have to factor in there.
Yeah, it's good to have that tough decision to make. Great kid, quietly just works in here, works at first base, and he's so strong. Like, the weight room is part of that. I think he hit a ball at Notre Dame that went 500 feet, to be honest, probably further. Like, I know the dimensions. I know that net is probably 50, 60 feet. And when you clear that thing in dead center field, he's got that kind of physicality. And even the ball today, it's a smooth, controlled swing with great physical strength. And he's managed this thing really well. And you're proud of somebody that waits and doesn't say boo and just shows up to work every day. And that's why he DH'd the other day. And it's fun to watch him have some rewards for the work.
You talk about that strength and power. Is that what makes it feel like this could be sustainable with his kind of production for you guys in the lineup?
With Hankerson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's power really to all fields. And it's right-handed too. He hits balls right center field, right-handed too. These guys wait for these moments, and you just sometimes need to see the response when they get their moments. And he's earned more. And I'm proud of him. He's a great kid. My great student. Works so hard in this weight room, barefoot in the weight room. I've never seen somebody barefoot. The stuff that goes on in the weight room's beyond me a little bit. He's in here barefoot and no batting gloves and nothing on the bat, so he's just going to keep it all natural and just keep going, Hankster.
I guess you could look at Alex's hit as a game winner tonight. I mean, I guess the 2-run hit, probably about the last year, it feels like he flipped a switch from about a year ago to now, just the hitter he's become. I think he leads the nation in hits this season. I guess, what do you think has been the biggest difference for him from about a year ago to now? Just the gear he's found and felt he's been in pretty consistently.
Well, you walk into a completely new program. Like, he had a good year. And then the transfer piece is in play. And he lands here, and he's in a space with guys he doesn't know, and we're fighting for positions, and we're trying to figure everybody out, and that's part of it. And I think just settling, like, he got off to a brutal start last year. Like, go back and look at his first month. You guys probably know the numbers better than I do, but man, and I just felt like this kid's playing hard. He's playing good defense. We're sticking with this thing, and he used to, like, Max is flat and sometimes a little steep down to it, where Lodis was a little bit almost uphill, and we worked hard to kind of flatten him out. So when I say every hitter has things to work on, Lodis figured out there was a lot of fly balls and a lot of foul balls. He was almost just underneath some of the stuff last year. He started to figure that out. He goes off and plays a little summer ball. We come back, we have a good fall. Again, I can't say enough about what Jamie Burleson does in the weight room with these guys. They're more physical. You see the physicality of these guys. His pitch selection has gotten better. I think we had days when Cam Smith was a freshman, or in his first year here, and Lodis's first year here. I hope that you see that kind of progress. From a talent standpoint, he's a good athlete, so everything has taken off. His plate discipline, his physical strength, he's cleaned up some things with the swing, and he stays with it. Like, it's a pretty consistent approach to things. He's not too high and too low. He goes about his business. So when you're trying to draw it up, he's managed to really improve in every phase of the game, and I would say the same for the defense too.
We haven't talked to you since Notre Dame. Could you just tell us what happened with John and how long he's suspended for?
We had a warning. We were chirpy. And don't ask me why we were chirpy. I don't know if sitting in the dugout for 3 hours in the rain and going to the hotel and coming back and sitting and leaving and going, I don't know if they just were stirred.
In the stands, I kept wooing the whole time.
No.
Was it you guys in the dugout?
That was the dugout. That.
Was that annoying for you?
Was that the warning?
Is it like tough to manage a game with someone like hollering in your ear?
Well, that part of it is actually okay.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if that was McDougal or whatever, but that, I don't think anybody minded that. Now, when there were some things that we did that got a warning early, and then when Johnny A barks at the guy that he strikes out, that's going on in the game, and it's not right. And he was ejected for it, and that's part of the game. It's not the right part of the game, and it's not what we want. I'm okay with some of the fun that they're having in the dugout. Like, I like it. We were at the field for 10 hours. So sometimes a little bit of the energy and the yelling and stuff is part of what keeps them lively and energetic. But the other stuff is not acceptable. So I think he's out Friday, if I understand the suspension correctly. But that's unfortunate. And we actually needed him to eat it up. It wasn't going real well, as you know. So that was tough. And we have to mature a little bit in some areas, and that's one. And there's a time for the chirping and the talking, and there's things that are clearly out of bounds and over the top. And that's what happened.
And speaking of hitters making adjustments at the plate, I know you said earlier this season Miles just kind of needs to slow down. Another 3-hit night for him. He's just kind of been on a tear recently. How have you seen him develop and kind of really mature at the plate with his approach?
He just needed to find a consistent stance set up, like how he was going about it. And that's not always easy. And he would kind of drift around, and there were things that were happening that I don't even think he realized he was doing. He said, hey, like, get back to hands need to be here, set up, width, plate, distance from the plate, spacing. And we've worked really hard. Like he works very, if anything with him, sometimes I say, hey, there's a time maybe to back off a little bit on all the extra stuff, and when you're feeling good, be good and go. But he's in a really good position in the box to hit, and he seems like he's recognizing pitches. Everybody on the team seems to chase. I don't know why we chase, and he chases too, but I think it's been harnessed a little bit so it doesn't appear to be so reckless. He's hung in there against some left-handed pitchers, and he's going to have to continue to do that because any chance they get, like, you know, that's probably where they're leaning out of the bullpen to match up. But I can't say enough about the progress. And, you know, like Lodis and Max, there's different swing planes. He was kind of in and out of the zone a little bit, and there wasn't a lot of margin of error in the path. So he slowly lengthened it out a little bit, and today the backside ground ball was still hit 100 miles an hour, and it didn't look like it, but it was. And the ball he hit, then he hit one 117 miles an hour somewhere else. Like, you're starting to see a little bit more length in the zone and a little bit more spray around the stadium, which is good. And you still know that the juice is there. So when it lines up, those will still come.
Just on Ben again real quick, I mean, Friday was kind of rough for him, and for him to come in that situation tonight, I mean, I don't know how many more options you guys have, but you went to him and he delivered. What could that do for him and your guys' team?
Should give him some confidence. And for whatever reason, that moment, he seems to be at his best. And we're backed into a corner, and it's 96 miles an hour, and the metrics of the sinker was exceptional. It doesn't need to be up here, but when it's that loud and the stuff is that good, you can get away with some mistakes. You know, if it's 88 miles an hour and up, you're not going to get that ball back. But when it's 96 and it's got that kind of run, you're okay. So I think he almost thrives a little bit when the adrenaline's up and the stuff ticks, and that's good. Now, he's got to get to a point as a pitcher where he finds that outside of maybe that moment. And we can't really save guys for that moment. College baseball just is hard to play that way. But that was a really positive moment for us, and we clearly needed it. Good? All right, fellas.